Hey everyone! Welcome back. I am back today with the season 3 finale of Attack on Titan, you guys. I am beyond excited. If you're joining me early today, you already know what it means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, I'm sending you up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So, there has been a lot in the last 2 episodes. It was quite a bit of info, particularly I think episode 20 for me was like the most info. The way that I structured my filming these last few weeks, I made sure that I was getting like feedback on episodes 20 and 21 before jumping into this episode. And I gotta tell you, I am so glad that I did that, because there was just a ton that you guys like rushed in to kind of explain to me, clarify for me. The first thing I'm going to start off with, I have like a tiny little list that I'll, just so we all know we're all on the same page. You know, I'll just run through these really quick, a couple bullet points. Okay, so Goddess Ymir and like actual, like our Ymir that we know are not the same. And I don't know why I didn't get that. I was getting so confused about, you know, the way in which they were talking about Ymir, and like there was this deal with the devil and everything. And I'm like, I don't remember there being a devil. But thank God you guys came in and cleared that up for me. So there's like this legend of Ymir, this, you know, legendary goddess. And then there's the girl, which we actually do see. They kind of like recruit her as like an orphan who is on the streets to be like their Ymir now, you know. So it does make sense. Eren is actually 2 Titans in 1, which I knew this, but I got into it, I think, last episode where I was talking about like who ate who and who got whose powers. And just to clarify, I am aware like he actually has the Founding Titan and the Attack Titan. So when he's makes contact with someone with royal blood, that's why he can like tap into the coordinate power. So all of this makes a lot more sense, because I got thinking about it, and they don't, like when Reiner and Bertholdt, when they were after Eren, it's not just because he can coordinate Titans. It's because he has the Founding Titan, and we know now, like that's what both groups were like after the Founding Titan, and whoever gets the Founding Titan is, and they're afraid that the people in the walls, if they have it, they're going to come back and try to rule and everything. Whether or not, like, the whole ruling and all the stuff they said about the subjects of Ymir was true is kind of up in the air. Like, we know Grisha said no, but he didn't really have, like, a lot of solid evidence, so kind of leaves it up to interpretation. Okay, we don't know how Goddess Ymir got her power exactly, but we know that her power got split into 9 Titans after she died, which was like 13 years after getting her power. The events of... Okay, so this is one that I got a little... I was getting fuzzy on the timeline. So someone clarified it for me that all, like what we saw in the last episode was 13 years before Grisha was eaten by Eren to get the power, which is why, you know, we know that after 13 years, that's it. Like, you have to pass it on. So that's why he had Eren eat him at that time. But for some reason, I was thinking, like, Zeke was way older. I think it's just, like, the beard. So I'm like, was there, like, a big time lag? Was Grisha, like, stuck in Titan form like Ymir, and all these years passed and everything? Because, I guess it makes sense. Like, he would be in his 40s, but for some reason, I was thinking Zeke seemed, like, way older, and he's actually not. Oh! The Titan with the white beard. I can't believe I didn't remember this. I knew him, and I knew he was important, but I just couldn't remember. And he's actually the one that eats Eren in season 1. What else? Oh, yes, I had asked, you know, does this mean that Reiner and Bertholdt were all working for the Marleyan government? And we actually did see, somebody brought it up to me, it was like one of those scenarios where there was 2 lines of dialogue at the same time on the screen. We saw a Marleyan officer informing the Eldian in the internment zone that they would start recruiting young Eldians to become warriors. So we can assume, yes, that's, Reiner, Bertholdt, and Annie were, well, we know, but like that was just kind of a little nudge nudge to everyone that I missed. Okay, this is really cool. I want to mention this. Someone recommended to me to go back and watch one of the first scenes of the first episode where Eren's waking up from his long dream, which I remembered, but I didn't remember, like, at the time, the flashes we saw had no context to me whatsoever. But actually, there's flashes of, like, Zeke's room and Dinah eating Carla, like her Titan eating Carla, which is, I mean, like, talk about a long game. That's, like, insane that they had all of that from, like, day one. And also, it shows that they're, like, teasing the whole concept of shared memories and future memories right away in the first episode, even though, again, we have, like, no context for it. They're kind of... That has been there all along. We were just kind of following the trail of breadcrumbs to figure out how and why it was there. And that's something that, like, in the last scenes, last episode, we saw, like, Eren Kruger is talking about Mikasa and Armin, and I'm like, wait, what? And I guess we're kind of to infer that he got that from Grisha. Because Grisha, that's what he said to Eren before he injected him and everything about, you have to do this to save Mikasa and Armin and everything. So all those things were kind of clarified for me. I found episode 21 to be a little bit... there was still a lot of info, but I feel like they were like, okay, here's all the info, and now we're gonna, like, tell the story with the info in it, and that kind of made it a little bit better than just, like, info, where I was just like, but yes, thank you to everyone who jumped in to clarify these things for me. Some of them were a little bit more subtle than others. Some of them were pretty overt, and I just was like, but thank you guys for clearing it up for me. So we have a real picture now of the background of this story, which is something I've been dying for seasons. So I'm really looking forward to now. Well, first of all, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this last episode. Something tells me it's like they're not just gonna have, like, okay, like, we're just all gonna have a picnic in the last episode. I'll be happy if they did, but I think we're still in for some stuff in the last episode here. But I'm really looking forward to just, like, going back after digesting all of this and, like, seeing all the, like, the rewatchability on this is insane. Just seeing how they connected all of these threads, I think, is going to be really cool, and just total kudos to the writer and, the people who do the show as well, but of course the original story from the manga is what spurred all this on, and is just, I mean, you can tell, like, they had all of us from, like, day one, which is insane. So, all right, guys, without further ado, can't believe I'm about to say this. Let's jump in to the season 3 finale, the last episode to date of Attack on Titan. Let's go.
壁は大混乱に陥りますぞ。そうだ。我々でさえ事の大きさを測りかねている状態にあるのだ。ならばまた民を騙すか。レース王がやったように、何も知らない民をこの壁の中で飼おうというのか。
I mean, he's got a point.
100年前、レース王が民から奪った記憶を、
Well,
100年後の民にお返しするだけです。
that's true.
我々は皆、運命を共にする壁の民。これからは一致団結して力を合わせなくてはなりません。
Read all about it. Oh, wow.
前にこの壁を築き、巨人の力で民衆の記憶を改ざんし、壁の外の人類は滅亡したと思い込ませた。だが人類は滅んでなどおらず、
This is gonna blow their minds.
で、町の反応は
様々です。
Yeah.
そのまま受け取るもの、笑い飛ばす。
Oh, some are just like, nah.
世間に異を唱え、私たちが巨人を恐れ、憎み、どうかこの世から消えてなくなれと願ったのと同じように。 世界中の人々が我々を
That's true.
有害な化け物とみなした。その結果、あの地獄が繰り返されるのだとしたら。
But you have a chance to do things differently this time around.
の英雄たちよ。
ヒッチ、
Oh, I wonder if she
あんたたちが勲
knows.
章もらうのに。
マルロは最後まで言うか
Okay. She did know.
マルロ・フロイデンベルクは俺と同じキューボ入団の新兵で、その中でも俺たちをよくまとめてくれた。現場は絶望的で、調査あいつだけは仲間を鼓舞し続けた。あいつはすごいやつだったよ。
知ってる。だから、私の言うことなんて聞かないんだろうね。
He was thinking of her at the end.
あそこに行ったことを後悔しただろう。
ありがとう。式でヘマしたら笑ってやるから。
前じゃなく団長がふさわしいと思った。でもそれは俺だけじゃない。みんなだ。報告書を読んだ誰もがそう思った。なんでエルヴィンじゃないんだって。
Wow. The direct approach.
お前
Dang.
がアルミンの何を知ってるって。
Yeah, for
言って
real.
みろ。知らないな。俺は幼馴染じゃないし、仲良しでもないから。
Doesn't mean he's not going to be
で
a
も
good
なんでアル
commander.
ミンが選ばれたかはわかる。お前ら二人とリヴァイ兵長が市場に流され、注射薬を私物化し、合理性に欠ける判断を下したからだ。要は大事なものを捨てることができなかったからだろ
That.
う。もうお前
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I could see
エレン、
from his perspective, like, how he would feel that,
な
but.
んだって自分が一番正しいって思ってんだろ。だから最後まで諦めなかった。聞き分けのねえガキみてえに。
Oh, no. Yeah, Mikasa. Get him settled down
ミ
here.
カサはまだ大人だった。最終的には諦めたんだから。おい！
Oh, I don't think she took that as compliment.
ミカサを止めるわけでもなく、ただ見てただけだったよな。なんだ
Come on.
誰を弔う？こんな雑魚にだってな。恵みする権利くらいはあるだろう。
I think they're gonna be.
フロックが正しい。
No, sweetheart.
エルヴィン団長が生き延びる。
No. Now,
状況を変えることができるの。
sweetie, don't start thinking that way.
なんでそんなことがわかるんだ。
Right. He has so much potential. Look at how much he's done at like 15.
目の外には何があるんだ。
海。
そうだ。海がある。
Right.
でもまだ見てないだろう。俺たちはまだ何も知らないんだよ。いくらでも広がっている。
And Armin's the one to figure that out.
自由が。
That wasn't a nice flash memory.
ものは何だ。希望だったのか。それとも絶望か。
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, to be
果て
honest.
しなく兄弟と変えることができるなら、自分の命ぐらいいくらでも捧げてやるのに。俺にはヒストリアを犠牲にする覚悟がない。
So he's gonna keep that little bit of info to himself. Oh, sweetheart.
誰にも。
Oh, just by kissing her hand, he's getting a.
私は
Oh,
壁の外から来たエル
Yep.
ディア人。あな
here's
た方と同じ
Grisha's
人類の民です。
memory.
そう殺してください。妻や子供たちが壁の民が食われてしまう前に。
Uh oh.
エレン。
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, Eren. Eren. Eren, keep it together. What's he gonna do? Oh, hang on. Okay. Intent for the future. Is it evident that the world perceives us as a race of devils? Oh, it is evident that the world perceives us as a race of devils. The people of our world wish to eradicate us subjects of Ymir. However, we must not simply wait for our extermination to come about. As long as we live, we must strive to ensure our survival, and our efforts to prevail must never cease. However, is a display of power enough to frighten the world our only method of doing so? In other words, I'm guessing that line that we heard a few episodes back about, like, basically we have some of the Titans in the walls, don't mess with us. Where is it display? Okay, so while this is paused, I'll say this really quick, because during that whole scene with Floke, I think I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but you know, I see where he's coming from. I really do. Like, I legit see how, if you didn't know, like, Eren, Armin, all of them, like, you'd have to be looking at this thinking, what are you thinking? We see it a little bit differently because those are our people, and we know how much potential Armin has. In the end, we know the decision was not based on the feelings about Armin. If anything, it was based on Levi's feelings for Smith and wanting to kind of set him free of, you know, becoming this sort of monster that he had to in order to get things done. And kind of from what I've read in the comments and everything, the takeaway from that is that Smith's goals ended at the basement. Who knows what he would have done after that, what kind of state he would have been in. His one and only goal was the basement. And we really, like, have no evidence to think that, like, he would be able to lead or in a position, you know, in a mental position to lead or anything after that. Whereas Armin is very focused on, you know, the world outside the walls. That has been his goal. And he kind of has, like, the long-term goal in mind. So who do you choose? Do you choose the one who's more inexperienced with potential, but you know is going to keep their eye on that long-term goal? Or the one who has proven experience, who can kind of, like, get you the short-term results you want up to, like, the basement point, is kind of like what I interpreted from a lot of the feedback I was getting about that. It is evident. And then there we go. Is there no other option than flaunting the very power we possess, the power of the Titans, that makes the world believe we are devils? Is it delusional to think we could all sit around the same table and talk? I want to think it possible, even if it seems like an idealistic view. I believe coming up with a better way is my duty, and so I must never turn away from thinking about it. Who wrote this? Is this... So, ideally, there's going to be, like, a world where we can just all live together? They can all live together?
ウォールマリア内の巨人は掃討されたと発表した。トロスト区から昇降機が解放され、街道の舗装事業が開始される頃には、草花が芽吹き、蝶が舞っていた。
Hope, guys. The hope of springtime.
避難
ハンジ、ウォールマリア内に入っていた巨人がほとんどだった。俺たちは奴らを1年でほぼ淘汰しちまったらしい。
Wow.
そんじゃ予定通り目的の場所を目指すぞ。
They made pretty short work of that. Oh, look at it. Eren grew his hair out.
動けないのか。
あの体で少しずつ張って壁まで進む。
That's kind of sad.
奥にされた。
He can get there. Oh, yeah, because all the ones wandering around were people who had been punished.
近いぞ。
They're not going to do anything to it. Almost kind of worse to leave it suffering, though. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. God, now I feel sorry for the Titans. How did you make me feel sorry for Titans? It's the world. If it's the ocean, I'm gonna lose it. It is, isn't it? Oh no! You made it! Oh! Come on, Levi, get in on the fun! A seashell? They don't know what it is. They don't know what any of it is. They're experiencing it all for the first time. Oh.
Eren, これ見てよ。壁の向こうには
海があって、海の向こうには自由がある。ずっとそう信じてた。でも違った。
Oh.
海の向こうにいるのは敵だ。何か親父の記憶で見たものと同じなんだ。向こうにいる敵全部殺せば俺たち自由になれるのか。
God, to think the real battle's only beginning. All right, you guys, let's talk. So, like I was saying, you can really see a weight on Eren now, and we started noticing it in the last episode when we saw that, like, you know, Eren's usual MO is like charge ahead, and all of a sudden now he's sitting on this information that's like weighing him down, that he knows is dangerous, that he doesn't know what to do about. And he feels like he can't tell anyone. I have to say, I feel like he could tell his core crew, and he would be all right. But then, like, they would have that burden as well, you know? Like, even if they didn't go and tell anyone. Yeah. I feel like Eren's got a lot more gravitas to him now, like a little bit more weight, you know? He's gone from kind of like being all rage to kind of coming to terms a little bit to kind of coming into this information that he was not ready for. I just need to talk about the scene at the end because, like, the childlike wonder of seeing the ocean and seeing the world beyond the walls and discovering it all for the first time has kept me going through the really hard parts of this show. And I was not disappointed when we got there, but as with all things with Attack on Titan, they're not going to give us a win without giving us a little extra needle. And we have this now, like, we've made it so far. We've changed the whole world inside the walls. We've given them memories back, the power to kind of control their own lives. The truth. The Titans, they cleared them up within a year. Like, these Titans that, like, God, back in season 1, I was like, my Lord, I don't even know, like, how would you ever get through all those Titans? It's, like, impossible. And, boy, they just put their minds to it and got it done. But to think that, like, really all that, everything for 3 seasons has just been the prelude. The real enemy was never the Titans. And, like, that scene at the end where they're like, oh my God, a Titan. First of all, like, one Titan. Second of all, like, Eren is just able to tell its whole history and, like, it's like, okay, let's go. Let's leave this one. Personally, I don't know how I felt about leaving it because, like, if it were me and I was turned into a Titan and I was, like, suffering, stuck in the ground, I might be like, just put me out of my misery, please. But, you know, you could tell, like, there was no threat anymore. Like, the threat of the Titans is gone. Just let that wash over you for a second. The threat of the Titans is gone. Like, at least the ones that were basically sent there is their prison. Of course, you know, there's a lot more danger involved when we're talking about one of the 9 Titans, obviously. And now, that last scene, where Eren's just pointing and saying, if we kill everyone on the other side, will we finally be free? Like, it wasn't enough that we did everything we did for the last 3 seasons. If we go kill all the people that are our enemies, maybe we'll finally know freedom. It's just so bittersweet because while they've come so far, it's now literally them against the world. I'm not clear on who was writing the little bits that we saw in the mid-episode info scene. I don't know if that's something I missed or if that's something they kind of have yet to explain. But I mean, is there a possibility? I mean, it's been a while now. Is there any chance that not the government, not the people who are, you know, but I mean, like, just the actual everyday people would be willing to try and unite and live together peacefully? I'm guessing that's what we're going to explore in the next season. I just so want for them to be able to settle this peacefully after all they've been through. And it just blows my mind because it did not even dawn on me until this episode that, like, this was just the beginning. This was all just the beginning. Now they have to face the world. Crazy, crazy stuff. Let me talk a little bit about the season and the series. Because this is the last time. This is the last time I'm going to be watching Attack on Titan for a while. And I just want to share with you how I felt overall about the series. It is a masterpiece. It's still dawning on me now. All of the things that were there in front of our nose the whole time. This whole thing was laid out perfectly ahead of time. And to think that there are details and hints and facts, like, all the way back to the first episode is mind-blowing. I don't know if I've ever seen another series where they have that much planned from the start. I mean, more than just, this is my basic plan. Like, specific scenes. I think that it's amazing how on a show that has such a dark, heavy tone, they have never once had us abandon hope either. Like, there's been equal parts horror and hope. Sometimes there was a lot more of the horror, but we always had that, like, that pressing dream and goal to, like, forge a hopeful future. And I think that's what made it so enjoyable, you know, even the parts that were gut-wrenching to watch. Even the deaths that you looked at and you felt like, God, that just felt like a meaningless death. I think if I were to go back and rewatch it, as hard as those deaths would still be, I think my perspective has changed just like their perspective has changed. It's just a horrible shame that so many people had to die along the way, and it's honestly it's a decent snapshot of what people who actually like forge paths to freedom by means of like you know, wars or revolutions or whatever, like this is the stuff you don't read about, the people, the friends, the family lost along the way. But I'm getting all existential now, so I'll get back to the show. God, I'm just like, I'm so overwhelmed that like I know I'm going to have more insights and more to say and more to reflect upon like after the camera's off. But you know, that's what like the comments and everything are for. So honestly, guys, I don't know where this ranks in terms of like my favorite shows or my favorite anime, like exactly, but it is up there. It's really a masterpiece. It really is. And I love how it really has its own like style and format, you know. It is like a shonen, but it's not. I mean, it just feels like the predictability of like your typical show or your typical anime or your typical shonen story is like not there in this anime. It is very much its own thing. It is like completely unique to me. I can't think of something else to like compare it to. It's wonderfully done. I honestly, like, I could get into like all the characters that I've loved and lost along the way. But I think that would be a longer conversation probably than anyone's ready for here. I will say this season I think was my favorite. Although it's hard because this season is only as effective as the other two seasons built it up to be. You know what I mean? Like, they all flow together so well that it's almost hard to say, like, oh, I like season 3 best, because season 3 wouldn't mean anything without seasons 1 and 2. I love that we got answers. I'm going to love going back and delving into, like, I'll be rewatching some of these through editing, and that is going to be a real treat. I know, like, there's going to be more that I know you guys have told me, like, you're discovering things rewatching along with me that you never discovered before. I'm really going to look forward to that. I really enjoy the growth that we've seen this season in our characters. Eren just kind of, like, before my eyes, but also, like, kind of without me realizing, really grew. Like, he's really come a long way. And I spoke about that a little bit before, so I won't get into it again. But, alright, guys. I'll see you in season 4. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I honestly couldn't tell you where I think things are going next. I have, like, I'm hoping for a happy ending, is what I'm hoping for. But I honestly have no clue. I really don't. It's been an amazing journey. I have so loved watching this. Even the times when it was difficult, it was so rewarding. And I've so enjoyed watching it with you guys watching along with me. That's what's really made the experience so amazing, especially with a show like this, like the constant feedback and insights that I get on each episode. Yeah. Wow, guys, here we are. I think that ending was perfect. I think it was perfect. Because we got what we wanted but we opened up a whole can of worms with like the whole other world outside the walls. So it's like, it's perfect. It was an absolute perfect ending. I loved it. Thank you so much for recommending this to me way back in the day. It has been a game changer for me. I loved it. I hope you enjoyed watching this whole series along with me, as well as this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Please be sure to join me in other shows and other anime, and of course in Attack on Titan Season 4 when it airs. And we will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.